We all know that the Super Mario Bros. Movie has been a total success since the day it came out. Despite the film was badly rated by some experts, on the other hand, the fans just loved it. And with good reason. Cause to be honest, the movie contains everything that a Nintendo fan could wish. And over time, the film has become one of the most successful animated movies to ever exist, breaking several records in the film industry. To date, the movie has already made more than $1.3 billion, which places it as the second highest grossing animated film of all time, just behind Frozen 2. With this in mind, when it comes to a huge and ambitious project, it is normal to make a few little mistakes that can produce some plot holes in the movie. That's why in this video we're gonna take a look at some things in the Super Mario Bros. Movie that make no sense. And also we'll try to give some sort of explanation for all of these things, avoiding stating the obvious, which is that at the end of the day it's just an animated film. So nothing that happens in the movie is actually forced to make sense. Before we start, I would like to make it clear that this video wasn't created with the purpose of criticizing or hating the movie in any way. It's just for entertainment and to point out some things that happened in the movie that some people may have missed. Having said this, it's time to start with the video. Unlike the video games, in the film, mushroom power-ups do not have eyes. Something kinda weird, taking in account that the rest of the power-ups do have. Besides this, before the movie was released, we could see a teaser poster that showed us a super mushroom with a nice pair of eyes. Even during the end credits, we can see a screen full of mushrooms, and guess what? They all have eyes. However, let me tell you, this could actually have a reasonable explanation. Throughout the movie, we see that the mushrooms are the only power-ups that are eaten, since for the rest of the power-ups, a simple touch is all it takes to obtain the special abilities, like the Fire Flower, the Ice Flower, the Super Leaf for Tanooki Mario, and of course the Super Star. So maybe the movie animators thought that adding ice to the mushrooms could create the impression that they are being eaten alive, something that could have been a little bit disturbing, at least for some audiences. Talking about mushrooms, there is something else that makes no sense about them. Specifically, let's focus on the mini mushroom. According to the video games, if you get hit while having any power-up equipped, you will lose the special abilities and go back to your regular form. Something that was also confirmed by Princess Peach in the scene where she was training Mario.
Oh yeah! When you get hit, you lose the power.
But let me tell you, there's only one exception. Yes, the mini mushroom. In the video games, when you have a mini mushroom equipped, if you get hit, instead of going back to your regular form, you will die instantly. But for some reason, in the movie, when Mini Mario gets hit by Donkey Kong, he goes back to his normal size. In the video games, the only way to get rid of the mini mushroom once equipped is to use any other different power-up, something that could have been recreated in the movie without many troubles, just by making Mini Mario reach a power box to turn into Cat Mario. Something interesting about the way in which mini mushrooms work in the movie is that by this logic, Bowser can easily break free from his cage just by hurting himself, for example with the piano, just the way he did to Kamek. But who knows, maybe the writers thought about this as a way to leave open the possibility of a sequel. Now, let's keep talking about power-ups. As we previously saw, when someone gets hit while having a power-up equipped, he or she will go back to base form. And throughout the movie there were many examples of this happening, such as Donkey Kong losing the Fire Flower, Princess Peach losing the Ice Flower, and of course Mario losing the Super Mushroom several times. But almost at the end of the film, when Tanooki Mario is trying to stop the Bomberbill from destroying the Mushroom Kingdom, there's a moment in which he crashes against many big mushrooms in repeated times. But somehow he doesn't lose his Tanooki power-up. It was until the Bomberbill exploded that he got smacked against a wall and ended up going back to his normal form. The only reason I could find to try to explain this is that maybe the damage he received was not big enough to hurt him, as he was able to keep flying through all those mushrooms. Do you remember the night when Mario, Peach, and Toad are in a Fire Flower field? Well, in that scene, we can see Princess Peach turning into Fire Peach after touching one of those flowers. For some reason, after the princess touches it, the fire flower doesn't vanish. Unlike what happens with the rest of the power-ups we saw in the movie, such as Peach's Ice Flower or Donkey Kong's Fire Flower. The explanation for this is that maybe if a flower power-up is still planted, it won't disappear when somebody uses it. It's time to talk about one of the funniest and also one of the creepiest characters from the movie, Lumalee. What makes this little blue star so funny and creepy at the same time is that for some reason he seems to be so excited about the idea of dying. Since we first met him until the very last scene, Lumalee never stops saying creepy phrases in which he expresses his love for death.
There's no escape. The only hope is the sweet relief of death.
But this time we're not gonna focus on why does he wanna die, cause let me tell you, there's actually a reasonable explanation for that. Just to sum it up, in Mario Galaxy we are told that when a Luma dies, it has the potential to reborn as a planet or some other celestial bodies. But for this video, what I would like you to see is what happens in the following scene.
There's no sunshine, only darkness.
Shut up, shut up, shut up!
As you can see, for a brief moment Lumalee was able to get out of his cage without any trouble. So, if he really wanted to die, then why didn't he just fly out of the cage and then jump into the lava? Well, maybe for the Lumas, death has no meaning if it is self-inflicted. Now, let's check out something that happens at the beginning of the film. When Mario and Luigi are at Punch-Out Pizza, after their plumbing commercial ends, this guy named Spike starts making fun of them just because they dream of becoming successful plumbers. When Spike is about to leave, we can see him throwing some money on the table to pay for his food. But if you take a look at the pizza, we can see he barely ate anything. Even though it could be that he was in a rush and had to go as soon as possible, why would he order a whole pizza just to eat a single slice? A few minutes later, Luigi and Mario arrive at the house where they are gonna do their first plumbing job. The problem here is that how did they get to the right place if they didn't even know the address? Cause when Luigi answers the phone call, despite we can't listen to the full conversation, we do know that Luigi never stopped talking before hanging up.
Hello, Super Mario Brothers! Uh-huh. A drip in your faucet, that's great! I mean, that's great you called us, because we can be there and we can fix it right away. Okay.
So, it's almost impossible that the customers had enough time to tell him where they lived. And also, they couldn't have sent him their location cause Luigi left his phone dropped on the floor. Let's move on to something that happens later in the movie. After Mario and Donkey Kong get lost at sea due to the spiny blue shell attack, Princess Peach decides to go back to the Mushroom Kingdom so she can tell the Toads to evacuate the city before Bowser's arrival. When she finally gets to her castle, she tells the Toads that Mario is gone, and they seem to be very shocked after receiving the bad news.
And Mario's gone.
But why would they react like that if they didn't even know who Mario was? Cause let's remember that before Peach and Mario left on their trip, the Toads asked the princess who Mario was, to which she replied just saying that he was not important.
Who's he?
He's not important!
But who knows? Maybe they are just too emotional that they get shocked when they find out that somebody died. And finally, talking about not being important, it seems that in this movie, parents do not care about their sons. We know that Mario spent at least 4 days in that fantasy world. The day he arrived at the Mushroom Kingdom, which is the same day he was trying to complete the training course, the day he spent traveling in the company of Peach and Toad, the day when they finally get to the Jungle Kingdom that ended with the race in the Rainbow Road, and finally the day when Peach and Bowser's wedding was taking place, which is also when Mario and Luigi go back to Brooklyn. For some reason, we can see their whole family having breakfast without worrying about where have Mario and Luigi been for the last 4 days. However, trying to explain this, it is possible that time elapses faster in the Mushroom Kingdom than on Earth, and it's been only a few hours since the night they left. So we can assume that their family isn't worried, because they just think that Mario and Luigi are still sleeping. And that's how we reach the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed. Let me know in the comment section if you can find another explanation for any of the things mentioned throughout this video. Before you go, if you like this kind of videos, it would mean the world to me if you drop a like and subscribe to the channel. That really helps me out to keep uploading more content. Having nothing more to say, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye!